Learn to fear me and this God, for we share the same name, Death God.
Hello everyone, Moonless here, and today I'm gonna make Death Gun from Sword Art Online 2. Okay, so let's begin. So how I make Death Gun? Have you guys seen my hood video? You guys should check that out first, because that gives a clue on how to make the hood part. So basically, I'm using the same trick for the hood and probably for the cloak, since it's a full body cloak, it's a bit different from the hood look which I made before. Okay, so for the hood, not much difference there. You just basically separate it into two parts, the main hair, you separate the front and back and use the back part as the hood and the front part as extra parts to handle. And for Death Gun, I used those parts to make the front part of the cloak. And I used the blue hairpin for CS John as the scarf-like thing on Death Gun. Because if you see Death Gun, his cloak has this scarf extension which covers his neck. So I use that to make that effect. And maybe for a challenge for new skinners is to make a metallic mask of Death Gun. As always, if you want to make good things, you have to make a good outline first. The foundations must be good. So I recommend just making some simple outline of the mask and slowly make it better. So first I make quite a big mask, and I slowly make it smaller and adjust the angle accordingly. And for the teeth, I just put some straight lines straight down. And to make a metallic look, you just have to put a white color and shade the sides with dark shading. And to do that dark shading, you just use a dark color. For example, 000, that's the darkest you can get. And you set the opacity somewhere around 20. And you can shape the sides and perhaps between the eyes to make the face look sinister. And since it's Death Gun, I also made the eye part as well. The eye is red, so I combine different shades of red, one very light and one very dark. I first used the darker color and then highlight it with the lighter color to make that effect as if it's glowing like a robot. And really for Death Gun, the hood and cloak have the same pattern of drawing. And what I did was to make a fabric-like look. I toggled with the opacity. And I used basically two different colors, just white and black, or maybe a dark gray color. And basically, the white must be a very strong white, like somewhere around 240, 240, and 240. And you, before actually adding the white, you add the dark color first. Add the white with 100 opacity, and then cover the high contrast white with a dark color with a 50 opacity. So basically, you just toggle with opacity, and you can get something like this, a fabric-like look. So your cloak looks a bit shady, has this quite foggy effect, which adds to the mystery of Deathcap. Yeah, as I said before, the front part is actually the front hair uh, of the hood, and for the back part, I used the giant ponytails of CS-chan and covered it all in the back. And make sure that they are positioned the same way, symmetrically, right and left, so that when you color it, it will be easier to color. And you gotta make sure that the way you color the ponytails are similar to the way you color the hood and the cloak, the front cloak, so that it will look natural as you turn around within the game. And just also gotta make sure that you have enough space. You give enough space for the hood to cover the body, so that when your character moves, it doesn't leak out. So, for example, if it leaks out, basically your hands, your body, it will come out in the right or left, or maybe backside of the and through the cloak, and it looks ugly. So that's why I use swimsuit, because swimsuit body is small. You have lesser chance to for the body to intercept with the cloak. So usually when we encounter this body in overlapping with the cloak is usually when we use big styles like mecha, night gear. If you use those styles, most probably your hands or shoulders or maybe parts of the body will be leaking out from the cloak. So you just gotta be mindful of that. And if you can make a shape that is giving enough space, but not too big that if the skin doesn't that the skin looks bulky, and you have a good formula for a full body cloak. This takes quite a degree of trial and error, but that's skinning for you. The more you experiment, the better you get. And yeah, I added some breathing filters for the death gun, since he has those, just like the gas mask actually. And for the shape, it's pretty much done. I add some better definition on the front area to make the front cloak look as if it's folding. And I also added a bonus on the skin. That's the fog, or the exhaust when he breathes, or the steam, I think. Yeah. So what I did with the steam is basically I reversed the polygon so that it looks transparent. So basically, if you reverse a polygon, whatever is inside is out and outside becomes inside. This means that whatever you see from the front view is actually the back part of the color of the polygon, and what you see in the back view is actually the front part of the polygon. Why I use this is basically because when you do this, your polygon actually have a whole. You can see the middle part of the polygon, so it has this transparent effect. So when people go through the steam, you can see them actually inside the steam. So for example, if another player's accessory goes past the steam, the accessory will be visible inside the steam, just like how a steam would look. So it's like a transparency effect. If you use a bigger set of polygons, like if you reverse a snowman's head, outside and in, outside becomes inside, inside becomes outside, you basically make a transparency effect. You can have so basically you will have like a glow around your head. And an easy way to do that is a simple rule: right is left and left is right, or front is back and back is front. You basically switch the right. You basically split the box of a polygon work you're doing into two. You put the right side into the left side and left side to the right side, and alternatively front to back, back to front. Maybe I'll do that in a separate video so you guys don't get confused. And really, for the rest of the skin, it's just tidying up and adding some more details. And the 3 polygons on the top there, I didn't use it, so I just removed it at the end. To remove it is basically just pushing it up to the right, top right corner, or any corner for that matter. And you don't need to make it into a dot, because simply just pushing it to the top right corner will make it invisible. And if you want to have, if you want to edit those polygons again, you can still take them out, unlike if you make it into a small dot. And here I'm just making the body of that gun. His body is much like Kirito's if you think about it, and yeah, quite a spy-like look. And I basically focus on the hands, which are basically bandages. How I make bandages is just straight lines and some shading. Shading is gradual shading, large area shading on the necessary areas, and also some detail shading on the bandages, the single line of bandages. Well, I guess that's it. That's how I make that gun. Alright, see you next time!